My body so
Okay, so I'm not going to take you through every single element in the track because that's going to take hours. You can just watch me remake the entire thing on my live stream videos that are on my channel. I think it's, yeah, 3-part video. Many hours put into this. So I'm just going to show you the main elements, which are essentially the melody, the bass, and the vocal. All right, so just looking at the melody, this is the melody. This is the MIDI for it. And essentially it repeats, but in this repetition over here, this part changes from this to this. So it's a slight variation, but it helps to have, you know, an A and a B section. The patch looks like this, which is just a saw wave with some noise on it. Really basic patch. And it's also going into a filter. The filter is being controlled by this shape envelope. And the amp envelope looks like that. A bit of chorus to widen it. And then we're just rolling off some low end, taking out some mids, and then saturating it. Which you can hear is kind of making it a little bit more dirty and warm. And then this reverb. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the melody. Then the bass is made up of two layers. We've got a sub over here, which is just a plain sine wave, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, so it's a we've got like two analog sine waves, so they both got some harmonics in them. If you look at it on an EQ, you can see there's actually quite a bit of harmonics in there. There's no distortion or anything. There's a bit of drive here on the filter, so that helps to add the harmonics. But as you can see, I didn't even EQ this because the shape of it is pretty much exactly what you want from a sub, or at least in this case. So yeah, two analog sine waves, triangle wave shape sort of things, and then following the same sort of filter shape as the main patch, you know how it kind of sweeps up and goes down. And that's pretty much it for this one. And then I'm also side chaining it to the kick pretty hard. The mid bass isn't side chained as much. Okay, so this is the mid bass. This is what the patch looks like. I mean, what the MIDI looks like. And the only thing to really note here is that these notes overlap so that we can do some portamento, and it kind of bends up over here. Okay, so this is what the patch looks like. It's actually quite complex. It's going into this send here with Redopter, so I'm just going to turn it off and explain it right from the beginning. So essentially this is what the patch sounds like on its own. So somebody on my Discord actually sent it to me. Can't remember who it was. Let me double check. Hang on. Yeah, it was Nile Pilot. If you join my Discord, you can come and get that patch too. It's on the sample preset swap. And it's basically just -1 and +7 two oscillators. So it's playing a power chord, a perfect fifth. And then it's got this little kind of sweeping envelope controlling the filter. So I gave it like a little bit of attack. Originally it had like a 0 attack, I think. So I just gave it that bit of a sweep because it sounded like the original didn't have that sharp attack. And then also gave it a whole bunch of unison. I think he did that. I can't remember what the original looks like, but I did make some changes to this patch. Then we got some noise, and then, oh yes, I also mixed in this chorus. I think it was mixed out. And then it's got a bit of reverb on it. So without the chorus and reverb. I mean, it sounds pretty similar. They don't make a huge difference. Okay, and then it goes into this EQ, take out some of the sub because we've already got a sub over there. And then this auto filter is just doing some automation because there's not always a whole bunch of high end throughout the track. And some mid-side EQ just to get the low end, take this like the stereo out of the low end. That just cleans it up a bit. And then there's this, I could hear in the original it sounded like there was something happening here, like I'm not sure if he distorted it over here or if, can't imagine somebody would boost it like this, but to get it sounding close to the original, this is what I had to do. So without that, yeah, it gives it a bit of character, I guess. Then I send it to this send over here, which has got Reductor on it. And Reductor is a multi-band distortion unit. And I basically set the cutoff over here of this band. Was it this one? Yeah, to 1.5 kilohertz, and then boosted it. Let's just take all of these off. So you can hear how that kind of adds that, again, that like around 1.5K boost in distortion, but doing it with this kind of distortion unit sounds a lot better than just EQing it in there, because it just adds all that grit and dirt to it. So that's what it sounds like with Reductor on it, and then cut out the low end from the send. Add some erosion to give it some wide noise. Then Redux. And that's also mixed in, quite low, but that jitter adds a bit of noise, and the Redux also just gives it a bit more character and high end. Then Utility to just bring down the width a touch. And then this filter, it's taking off the high end again. And that's automated, I think, throughout, depending on how much energy is in the track. And then this is got like a little bump around, 6.5 kilohertz. I think I originally put that on to try and give it some drive. So I don't think that will actually be making much of a difference because we're rolling it off. But I'm just going to leave it there anyway. And then rolling off low end again, because through the process of adding all this distortion and stuff, it adds those frequencies back in. So I've just had to cut that out again. And there we go. That's pretty much it for the mid bass. So without this send, it sounds like this. With the send, it's a lot like meaner and got a lot more character. Okay, and then lastly, the other main element. Oh, I forgot about the chord stack. Something we should definitely show is I struggled really with this, getting this MIDI. So yeah, I arranged one of my friends' perfect pitch. His name is Maguganator. I think you can find his website here. Audio, is this it? Yeah. So you can check out his stuff. Thank you to him for sending me the MIDI. We also had Francois from PML create his own version of the MIDI. I'm not sure whose is more correct. I just used this one because he sent me the actual MIDI, so it was quicker for me. And then another guy in my Discord, also, what is his name? Plummet, I think. Yeah, Plummet. He also figured out the chords to it. So we had 3 people figuring out the chords because I was struggling with them. But in the end, we got there. And that's how this sounds. So again, this doesn't sound identical, but it's close enough to fake it, I guess. It's basically just a big chord stack. So it's got noise in it. We're doing 2 octaves here, both with a bunch of unison on them. And I've got a compressor with a multiband, so it's basically OTT. Without it, it sounds like this. That really like flattens it and makes it, yeah, very noisy, like a big wall of sound. And then I've got this EQ, which is cutting out the lows and the highs. So it's not like super bright, but it's still nice and full in the mid-range, which is essentially how his sounded, to me at least. And then this reverb, just spreading it out and giving it some space. And then this is just automation, filter automation. And then Pro Q3, I'm not doing anything. Okay, so lastly, the vocal is actually from a pack. I think it's Producer Loops. Don't know what the DHV stands for, but Logic came into the stream while I was working and he said, hey, I know where the vocal's from, because he's worked with Avoure, I don't know how you say his name. He worked with him and he already knew where this vocal was from, so he sent me the vocal from the pack. And I just added some processing to it because it's dry. It was dry when he sent it to me. So this is how it sounded.
My body.
One thing you'll notice with the dry a cappella, it sounds like it goes out of tune, like it's a bit flat, especially on this word, you can hear it.
Body.
Like around here, it kind of dips down in pitch. Yeah, it definitely goes out of tune. So other than this EQ, which just kind of cleaned up some of that, like almost like the harshness of the vocal, I added this auto tune. And it's just got like quite a slow retune speed, but it fixes that problem.
Body.
Yeah. And then I added some delay. The delay only happens periodically on certain words. So if we look at this over here, happens on this word here, warm. And I think I think that's the only place it happens in the track. And then there's also some delay on this word over here.
I can feel it.
Okay, and then lastly I added this vintage verb just to give it some space.
My body.
And the vocal, when you get it from the pack, isn't timed like this, so I had to just drag it around and get it all in time with the track, exactly how he had it before. And then there was another little part from the a cappella which I struggled to find for ages, but it's actually just sitting there on its own. It's not like a chop from a word or anything. I think it's over here. Yeah, that. And that just plays throughout the entire track, just playing 2 notes. I think it's the D sharp over here. Yeah, and then it goes up to E. So I just pitched those around with the transpose. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for all the main elements. If you wanted to, watch me remake the whole thing, then you can always go and watch the 3-part live stream. It's up on my channel. And yeah, you can download this project file. I'll make it available. Alright, thanks for watching.